Okay. Hi everybody. Or whoever's gonna see this, I don't know. This is my presentation on label services, which honestly I did not know a lot about until I started looking into it a little bit more. But some cool stuff, good stuff to know. Okay. So, what is a label service? Because I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really know this. So a label service is basically the main one that I'm going to look at today is like AWAL or AWAL, however you say it. And they're like kind of like a record label, but without the amount of control that a record label would typically have. So a lot of different label services will typically provide like marketing, promotion, sales, distribution, logistics, stock management, rights management, and reporting and stuff. And a lot of artists are going this way more often now because like record labels often require like have so much control over your music. And like artists want to be able to like own their music and own their masters. So label services kind of offer all that, but without the amount of control. And it's more of a like a hands-on approach for artists, and allows a lot more creative and artistic control. So some of the benefits of label services, like I said, more of a hands-on approach for artists. They get to say like what their brand is going to be. They get to say like what their music videos are going to be, or what their music is going to be about, what it's going to sound like. It also allows artists to own their masters and release their music on their own terms. And it provides the same services as a traditional record deal, but without the same amount of control, like I said before. So some of the risks, because I was looking at this and I was like, well, this sounds awesome. How could there be any risks? But there are definitely a few risks, because a lot of these label services, like there's definitely like a lack of accountability, because they don't typically like have business management with them. So yes, they'll provide you with all these like tools and all this stuff you need to promote your music, but normally the business management side of it is left up to the artist unless they hire a whole team behind them. So a lot of artists are trying to do all this business management themselves, and it's a lot harder than I think some artists realize it is. And so yeah, it can be hard to like break through the noise, as they say it, and really put yourself out there when you don't have like that kind of support behind you. Also, label services don't allow artists to make the same connections and relationships as they would with a traditional record deal. So a lot of like one of the best things about having a traditional record deal is that you meet people. And that's how a lot of artists get their start, is that they're just meeting people that they meet on a regular basis through this deal. And you're making connections. Whereas when you're working by yourself and you're kind of doing everything online through a label service, you don't have that same relationships and stuff. So I'm going to talk about AWAL, AWAL, for a little bit, artists without a label. So this is a distribution company and a record label. This company serves as an alternative to the traditional music label deal, offering deal structures to artists and independent labels without them giving up their ownership or control. So their main service is digital music distribution, but it also includes marketing, data analysis and stuff, radio, and licensing. And they have 3 different deals for different artists. So I'll get into that a little bit more. But basically, this is like one of the like main label services, and they've kind of started shaking the music industry a little bit, because they do a lot of things differently, and they're kind of starting to force record labels to adapt. And they kind of, because a lot of artists are going with AWAL now, just because they do things a little bit differently than regular label services, and they kind of offer a lot more. So I'm going to get into that a little bit more. So they have 3 different deals for different artists, because every artist is going to come in at a different stage in their career. So we'll look into those deals a little bit more. So the AWAL Core. So this is their first deal, and this is kind of, I don't want to say beginner because you do have to be pretty established to get into AWAL, but this is typically artists will join AWAL at this stage through either direct referral or from somebody they trust or from their online submission process. Yeah, and they're basically, AWAL Core is probably where you'd start if you didn't have a big establishment yet in your career. And this is the kind of stuff they offer. So distribution. So they will distribute to major digital stores around the world. And the cool thing is that artists are promised to keep up to 85% of their major revenue. And artists also has the freedom to leave whenever they want. So there's no long-term contracts, there's no hidden contracts, so that's something you don't have to worry about with them. AWAL will also help artists flip streams into insights with skip rates, completions, playlist history, and lots more. So basically they'll help you like look and analyze all your different streams and like where is your music playing more, like where is your fan base, how do we reach these people, which can be really helpful for building up your fan base. And then they have the A&R upstream. So AWAL's global A&R team monitors everything and constantly searches for opportunities to lend a hand to AWAL artists going through traction in interesting ways. So that's kind of their AWAL Core. Basically, if you come into the AWAL stage at this point in your career, they're basically just helping you build your fan base and get your music out there. Next we have AWAL Plus. So this is their second deal packages. And if you start with AWAL Core, you can like kind of advance up through these packages. So this is designed for a smaller group of artists they think are on the verge. Some artists join AWAL at this stage, usually working through a manager or a lawyer. And if an artist gets accepted at this stage, AWAL will work with that artist to build a customized strategy using the following services. So this is kind of the stuff they offer here. So label management. So you'll have a dedicated AWAL rep, which is really cool. So artists will be assigned to a point person at AWAL to call their own, and they'll foolproof releases, refine campaign strategies, ensure artists are educated on the best practices and business strategies. I thought this was really cool about this one because it would be really like helpful to have like somebody you can talk to and be like, well, what do I do here? What's important here? To help you find like a good business plan and stuff. And this is what's different about AWAL a lot, like compared to a lot of other label services, is that they offer this kind of business strategy marketing thing, which a lot of other label services don't have. So the artist is not completely on their own in this sense. Funding. So in your first like package, the AWAL Core, they're not going to fund as much, but once they see that you're kind of at this position where you're making money and you're earning income, they'll start funding you. So they'll start funding projects, and they will start taking a percentage, and a little more of the artist's income, but the artist will still have complete budgeting and creative control. And then DSP support, the AWAL team will find opportunities to place artists' music in key playlists, plus film, TV ads, movie trailers, and all that kind of stuff.